Welcome to Katalon Automation tutorial. As you all know, I've already published 32 YouTube videos covering basic concepts, intermediate concepts, and advanced level concepts. And also, I've published a series of videos covering CI/CD integration by using Katalon Studio. So, as part of CI/CD integration series, I've already published two parts, part 1 and part 2. So this is our lesson 33, which is part 3 of our CI/CD integration. In this lesson, you will learn how can we integrate Katalon Studio with TestOps. Nothing but Katalon TestOps, which is cloud-based solution for CI/CD integrations. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you. So what is our lesson objective? If you see on the screen, I've already published part 1 where we have learned how can we use the Katalon runtime engine and how can we execute the Katalon scripts by using command line execution. And then in part 2, I've showed you how can we integrate Katalon Studio with GitHub, and we push the code from Katalon Studio to the GitHub. And this is our part 3 where I'm going to teach you how can you integrate Katalon Studio with Katalon TestOps. So now let us see step by step what we need to do. First, we need to navigate to TestOps related to Katalon website, and then you need to enter the credentials for Katalon. So now let me go to my Katalon TestOps. So this is my Katalon TestOps, testops.katalon.io. I've already provided my credentials to login. And then our next step is now go to Katalon Studio and integrate your Katalon Studio with TestOps. For that, you have to go to your Katalon Studio. So this is my Katalon Studio. So, and here this is my Test Explorer, right? So if you observe closely, I do not see any module related to TestOps initially, right? In my Katalon Studio. Now, to enable TestOps in your Katalon Studio, you need to integrate your Katalon Studio with TestOps. How can we do that? We need to navigate to Projects, Settings, and select Katalon Platform. And then you need to enter all required fields to fetch the organizations from your Katalon TestOps. Let me show you what are the organizations. If you see, I already have one organization here, right? Ravikant.edamakanti is my organization, right? So now let's go to my Katalon Studio. And here, go to Project and Settings. Under Settings, select Katalon Platform. And here, you need to select override authentication, and you need to provide the URL. What is the URL that you need to provide? admin.katalon.com, https admin.katalon.com. And then you need to provide your email address that is related to your Katalon, okay? And you need to provide your password. So these are the details that you need to provide. Email and password are related to your Katalon whenever you register for the Katalon, right? The same email and password you need to use. And URL https://admin.katalon.com. So as soon as you provide all these details, you can fetch the organization. So let me do one thing. Let me quickly enter the URL admin.katalon.com. I'll show you how it works, okay? https://admin.katalon.com and provide your username and provide your password. and then click on fetch organization. So if you see, the same organization ravikant.edamakanti has been fetched. Okay, now you need to do couple of things here. You need to first enable your Katalon platform integration. What I'm going to do here, enable your Katalon platform integration. As soon as you enable, it displays your team and the projects that are available. I can see my organization is having two projects, first project and YouTube demo web, right? These are the two projects. So now it shows all those two projects. Okay, and then also I would like to enable Katalon test cloud integration and automatically upload all test reports to Katalon platform. I would like to enable this one and click on apply and close. As soon as you click on apply and close, now you can see now there is a new module that is added, which is TestOps. So you can see all the test runs, test run types, releases by using this module. Okay, so now we successfully integrated Katalon TestOps in your Katalon Studio. Now let us understand how can you integrate your test cases or test suites with Katalon TestOps and test execution, and integration of your test reports with Katalon TestOps. Let us first cover integration of test reports with Katalon TestOps. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one new test case. Okay, let's create a new folder, TestOps integration, and click on OK. And here I'll create a new test case, TestOps testing. So what I'm going to do here, now let us create one simple test case, and then let me create a test suite also. Okay, so for that I'm going to use record and record web option, and this is your regular web application that we are going to use, provided by Katalon. So I'm going to automate this simply by clicking on make appointment, provide your username, and then provide your password. Click on login, and then select your healthcare program, select the date, and then provide comments. Click on book appointment. Done. So now let's stop the recording. And now I would like to save this. Okay, I would like to save. Let me create a new folder. I'm going to create new folder here saying test ops integration. I'm creating this for what? To store all my object repository, objects and the locators. Click on OK. So as soon as you click on OK, now your object repository has been created and your test case also done. So this is your entire test case, correct? So now let us create a test suite. So let's go to set test suites. I would like to create a new test suite. New test suite. I'll say test ops integration. Click OK. And then I'd like to add the above created test case to this test suite. How? Click on add and then select your latest test that we created, TestOps testing. Click on OK. Now save this. So now let us see how can we integrate your test reports with Katalon TestOps. Now what I'm going to do, if you remember correctly, we integrated our TestOps to which project? To the project called first project, right? Remember that. Now I would like to run this test suite. Let's run this test suite. and see, I would like to publish all the test results of this particular execution to my cloud test ops. Okay, so now it's going to run the test case or the test suite, and then it should publish the report to your TestOps cloud. It opened the browser. Now it's going to perform all the actions that we automated. Read the comments, book appointment, done. Now if you see, now your test results should be pushed. If you see, preparing report, uploading report to Katalon test ops, because we already implemented, sorry, we already integrated. If you go to test ops, now if I go to test run, here it should have a latest test run. Okay, and also let's go to my Katalon, sorry, let's go to test ops and go to first project. This is my project. I'm into my organization. I clicked on my project, and then go to reports. Let's go to test runs, right? Here you should see your latest run. If you see here, this is my latest run, time when 20 seconds a minute ago. That means this is my new test ops integration. What is our test suite name? Our test suite name is test ops integration, correct? So that's my test suite name. This is my test suite, and I can see this result. And if I click on this ID, it shows me how many test cases are passed. One test case, fail 0, error 0, right? So it shows all the details here, right? If I go in detail to the test suite, I can see here, right? So basically I can see the status of your test suite. If you have multiple test cases, then it's going to show you number of test cases passed, number of test cases failed, any errors. Okay, so now we understand how to integrate your test reports with Katalon TestOps. Now let us see how can we integrate your test suite or test cases, whatever you are building in your local system, right? You need to push these test suites to your test ops and the GitHub so that we can perform continuous integration. Okay, now let's go to our Katalon Studio. First, we need to push all these changes, whatever the newly created test case and your test suite, to GitHub repository. So let's go to our GitHub repository. I showed you how to push the code to the GitHub repository in my part 2 session, right? I would recommend you guys to go through that session. So now, if you go to GitHub, we already pushed this code repository, this project, to my GitHub. What is that? The project name that we pushed is Katalon CICD tutorial, right? So now if you see test cases, right? Let me go to test case. It has only one test case, login test case, correct? I can see that. So which is this one. So we never pushed other test cases. Now this is my new test case and test suites. Let's go to test suites and see how many test suites are there. Test suites were empty. Okay, now we created a new test case. Now I would like to push these changes to my GitHub repository. To push that, I need a repository code, right? This is my GitHub URL. But I think we already connected. Let's just go ahead and commit the changes. Click on commit. And now, if you see here, I can see these are all the unstaged changes. Drag and drop these here simply. Now I would like to commit and push all these changes to my latest repository. Commit and push. Okay, I need to enter the new test suite for test ops. I need to enter the comments, that is mandatory. So we added a new test case and test suite for test ops. Commit and push. So now it is asking me to enter the username and password. Let me enter the username and password. Okay, I have provided my username and password. Click on OK. So now this will push all your latest changes to repository. Let's go back to repository. Now let me refresh this. Now I should see the latest timestamps. If you see this one, reports 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago, that means I got all my test cases. Earlier there is no test suite folder at all. So let's go to test cases. Now I can see TestOps integration. This is the new test case that we created. And also let's go to test suite. This is the new test suite that we created. Okay, so now we have all my latest changes to GitHub. Now let's go to TestOps now. And here now I need to fetch my latest GitHub repository to my TestOps. For that, let's go to settings and here go to script repository. I need to connect to a new Git repository. So what is my Git repository? Let's get the code here. Copy this and then because these are all my old repositories, I want to connect to my new repository. Create, what did I? So I just clicked on connect Git repository, create new Git repository. Here you need to provide the URL that we just copied. Okay, provide the URL and this is my username. And you need to provide your personal access code. I already copied my personal access code. From where you need to receive, you can get the personal access code. You need to generate a new personal access token from GitHub settings and developer tools. Okay, so now I provided this and now you just click on connect. As soon as you click on connect, now you should see my branch. See, from my master branch from the GitHub is showing here now, and click on create. As soon as you click on create, done. So now you will be redirecting back to your repositories. So if you see here, okay, now you say refresh script repositories. So now let's go click on repositories. Now you see my new GitHub repository is showing. What is this one? Katalon CICD tutorial. This is my new. Let's go here. Katalon CICD tutorial. That means now my latest GitHub repository is available in my TestOps. Now I have a connectivity between Katalon Studio. Let's say I make some changes. Immediately push them to your Git repository. And your Git repository will have your latest code base. And then your immediately, if you refresh your repository, you will get a latest code to your TestOps. Now, that means my continuous integration is ready. You are making changes in Katalon Studio in your local machine and pushing your changes to GitHub, and that GitHub is getting synced with my TestOps. From where now I can schedule my runs. I can schedule test runs by using cloud browsers available in the cloud, mobile browsers available in the cloud, and everything. I can schedule my test runs directly from TestOps using different browsers that are available in cloud with the latest code that you are pushing on daily basis to your Git repository from your local machine. So now in our next session, part 4, I'm going to cover how can you execute your test suites as soon as you push the latest code from your local machine Katalon Studio to your Git repository, and how can you run your test suites and test cases, regression test cases in TestOps by using different types of browsers. So that I'm going to cover in my next session. Hope you all understand how continuous integration works and how can you integrate your Katalon Studio with your TestOps and GitHub. Please, if you have any queries, leave your queries in the comment box. I'll try to respond to your queries. Thank you. Hope you all understand the concepts of Part 3 CICD integration. How can you integrate Katalon Studio with TestOps? Please do subscribe to the channel. Click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you.